You know, people are always asking me the exact same stuff online, Twitter, comments, whatever.
I have so many questions!
So I wanted to put a list together of the top 10 questions that people ask to put this stuff to rest once and for all. So let's start with number 10. I've got the iPad here with the questions. How do you come up with your trade ideas? I use TradeNBA.com. It's now called Fanspo. And what I like about that trade machine more than the ESPN trade machine is that Fanspo will let you trade picks. And ESPN's trade machine doesn't let you trade picks, just players and salary. And it'll tell you if you get the salaries wrong and everything. But Fanspo lets you trade picks. It lets you sign and trade. It even lets you sign free agents. So it's pretty cool. Question number 9, will you consider being a Rockets fan again? So many of you may know that when I was a kid, I used to be a big time Rockets fan, even into my early 20s, but then James Harden took over the team and I just couldn't watch him like flail around, draw fouls, shoot free throws. The offense was all about him. I didn't like his personality and I kind of fell out of love with my team, right? And so I'm moving to Houston, by the way. I've got these boxes here and yeah, I think I'm gonna give them a shot. I'm gonna watch a lot of games. I watch every game anyway. I'm gonna go to some games and I think that I'll document all that and put it here on the channel. Number 8, how does the salary cap work? Yes, people always ask that. I think that I like to put together videos that include salary cap stuff that's easy to understand for people because you could read the CBA, which is a long legal document, which is really hard to understand, or you could go to my favorite website for this stuff. It's called CBAFAQ.com. This guy named Larry Kuhn put it together, super smart. He'll answer any question you can even think of. That's great. But the membership on this channel is called AM Hoops Plus, and we've got like multiple courses on there that are free for members that explain the salary cap in detail. Number 7, who's your favorite player other than Kawhi? I didn't prepare for this. My favorite player other than Kawhi. I love LeBron's game. I don't really like his attitude that much. A lot of what he does I can't stand. I think part of the reason why Kawhi is my favorite is because he has the mix of the game and the personality. I love his game because he can do everything. He can score inside. He can shoot threes. He's got a beautiful mid-range game. He's a two-way player, and I respect two-way players the most. And then from a personality standpoint, I love how he handles his business. We don't know like what Kawhi's gonna do until he tells the world. He doesn't ever leak stuff to the media. He's a very humble guy. If he like dunks on your face, he's not gonna like beat his chest back down the court like, look at me. Like, I just love that in a player. And so if I'm to think about who my second favorite player is, it's Jimmy Butler for sure. Jimmy is an underdog type guy who was never believed in, so I really like his story. I love his attitude. It's a no-nonsense type attitude. He won't take crap for anybody. He's perfect for the Miami Heat because they don't take crap from anybody and they're all about business. I love that about Jimmy Butler. I also really appreciate his game. I even like in the playoffs to where suddenly like he could shoot threes in the bubble just because that's what they needed. And he wasn't traditionally a three-point shooter. And his game is just really solid. Again, he's a two-way player. I think Kawhi number 1 and Jimmy Butler number 2. Number 6, how can I improve my small YouTube channel? A lot of people ask me this, and I would say the number 1 and number 2 things that you can do. Number 1 is to make sure you have a good title and a good thumbnail. And number 2 is to pick the right topic. So you have to know your audience and what does your audience want to see. And that's one thing that I learned early on about this YouTube channel is I would try a bunch of different videos and I found out like what got views, meaning what the audience wanted to watch. Doesn't matter what I necessarily think. Now, I put my opinion and I'm passionate about every video that I make, but I make sure that we both like it. It has to be something I like and other people, right? I can't just make something and then say, oh, well, that's too, I don't know, that's too smart for them to understand. Or so it's like, no, dude, you're not gonna get a paycheck. Like, you're an idiot. So we both, you and your audience both have to like it. And number 2, the title has to be really intriguing, draw them in, create a question mark in their mind. Like, I remember the Zach LaVine video recently about how he might leave the Bulls was, Bulls fans should be nervous about what comes next. That puts a question mark in your mind. Combine that with a good thumbnail. Number 5, why do you hate Trae Young, Russell Westbrook, and the Raptors? Yes, this is everywhere. I don't hate Trae Young, Russ, or the Raptors. I am ambivalent to all of them. I don't care. I just call things like I see them, and I try to give what I truly think without any sugar on top of it. Like, I don't try to dull any of it down. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I feel, and I don't care if it upsets people because it's just sports. I'm not saying, you know, something about someone's family or anything that's unacceptable, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's just sports. So, you know, if I say that the team isn't good, it's gonna piss some people off, but like, that's really what I think. And by the way, like, if those teams are doing well, you know, I'm not gonna say, like the Bulls is a great example. I was a fan of the Bulls, you know, I guess, whatever. I didn't really talk about them. And then I pointed out that I don't like the DeMar DeRozan deal. I don't think they're gonna be very good defensively. And now people are like, oh man, this guy just hates the Bulls. I've never talked about the Bulls before. I don't hate the Bulls at all. Like, that, I'm just trying to tell my truth, and that's it. Number 4, how old are you? I'm 34 years old. I'll be 35 on September 21st. I don't know when you're gonna watch this. Number 3, can you hoop? People are always asking for a in real life video. I'm not good at basketball. When I grew up, I skateboarded. I've just been a basketball fan. If it would be a IRL video of me playing basketball, it would just be about how bad I am and we could all laugh at me. That's it. Number 2, what does AM stand for? Yes. So here's what it stands for. I started AM Hoops as a podcast, and the idea was that I was gonna recap every game every night in like a minute. And then when people woke up, they could have their AM Hoops to listen to in the morning. And basically, if you didn't have time to watch every game because you have a life, but you want to know what happened in the league last night, you could just listen to my recaps, right? And I just did that because I saw that there wasn't another podcast like that out there, so I thought people would listen. It ended up being like a grind. I didn't like it, and the YouTube channel took off anyway, so I just kept the name. And number 1, who do you think will win the 2022 NBA championship? If it's not the Brooklyn Nets, I will be shocked. Again, this is not about do I hope the Brooklyn Nets win or anything like that. This is not about who do I like, who do I not like. You know, I don't particularly like Kevin Durant or James Harden or Kyrie Irving. I think they're gonna win the championship, you know. They have so much talent, they have so much depth, they had so many injuries last year, even during the regular season, and they still got the number 2 seed. Like, nothing is gonna stop these guys other than injuries. So I think it'll be the Nets. And there's a lot more about next year's NBA because right here, I ranked every team. I put them into tiers. Who can win the championship type teams? Who thinks they can win the championship type teams? Who won't even make the playoff type teams? So I went through all 30 teams and ranked all of them. Check it out.